டார்லிங் ஏசி திருவிழா இந்தியாவிலேயே மிக குறைந்த மாத தவணையில் ஏசி.
South India's #1 travel brand. You know you are special when you're with GT Holidays.
Velamal feels proud to honor the physical education teachers with 5 cars and 15 lakhs.
Hello everyone, welcome to Galatta Plus. We've just had, at least for me, what is the biggest event in the music world in recent times, which is the world premiere of Maestro Ilaiyaraaja's Symphony No. 1 called Valiant. And this person here who's sitting opposite me called me and said, or messaged me and said, Rangan, I'm going to London, you should also come. But I couldn't go. So I'm trying to do the next best thing, which is sit across this person and try to dig into what it was like to be in London witnessing the world premiere of this symphony. Go.
I can't begin to tell you what you've missed. Nothing that I say will match the excitement that I felt, match the joy that I felt.
Yeah.
Actually sitting there, hearing the music. And it's to me, it's almost like a second life-changing experience with Ilaiyaraaja, because the first time I listened to his music without knowing anything about film, cinema when I was a kid, and I said, what is this coming from? And his was the only film school that I went to, which is listening to his music. And I said, this can conjure up so many thoughts in your head. And it did again. After so many, again I'm listening to something which is breathtaking. And
You're talking about the symphony.
About the symphony. And
okay.
I'm just, it's so many emotions, so many feelings. You don't have time. By the time you experience one emotion, you've got another emotion. You've got another emotion. You've got another emotion. I mean, what is this man? I mean, it's like, I really felt magic. I've never felt like this for a very long time. I really pity people who weren't there that day to experience the joy.
Okay, don't make us feel bad.
I want to make you guys feel really, really bad because what are you guys doing? You're in Chennai, you're all his fans in the film world. So many fans of his have flown down from the US. I mean, there were about 10,000 people from the US, so many people from all across Europe, few people from India. And symphonies, you will always hear the symphony later on, a year down the road when he finally releases it. But the magic of, listening to the Royal London Philharmonic performing his composition, it is so beautiful because I just went there, I just had to hear it. I mean, I just dropped everything and I said, I'm taking a flight, I'm going to London, I'm listening to this. He's very happy to see me, so I went with him the first day to the rehearsals at the BBC studios where he was just the rehearsals happening in the Philharmonic. And he's like a student. He's like a student who's kind of almost checking the notebook whether the teacher in him, and has the student managed to communicate correctly what the teacher in him wrote. As the student read it enough to kind of tell the conductors, and they're all kind of doing, the conductor's magnificent, he's one of the best in the world.
So this rehearsal is the entire
orchestra.
Okay, right.
So I'm watching pieces, I was hearing in pieces, and he was there looking at his notes and his thing, he showed me his sheets and everything, I pretended to read it, and not bad sir, not bad, good, not. Jokes about happened. Just began, and then 6 hours I was in the studio. And the biggest compliment is, I didn't get up to smoke. I didn't get up to go out to smoke. For me, it's like if you can remove my nicotine craving, if music can remove your nicotine craving, there's nothing bigger than that. It was so beautiful. And I'd read a lot about symphonies, and I said, okay, I will do my homework. I'll read about all the expositions and the development, the recapitulation, the first movement, the second movement, the third movement, fourth movement. I'll read everything about it, and I'll ask him questions, intelligent questions at the end of it. With all the theory, all the stuff that I had in my mind, I don't have any theory of music except reading about the history of music and everything. Just went, sat, okay, let's hear the first movement. Sat there like this. Exposition of the two melodies.
No, wait. This is the rehearsal.
There's a rehearsal.
Okay.
So the rehearsal is not going to be full. It's going to be in patches. This piece, raise that in this piece. That raise. He'll do correct. So
this is not like a dress rehearsal. This is more like a tweaking thing.
Like the day before.
The dress
rehearsal happens on the same day.
Oh, okay.
Just before the show.
Right. So there's a rehearsal and then a dress rehearsal and then the final.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, the rehearsal. Obviously, they've all performed. They've all read the notes and they've all rehearsed.
Yeah. But
this is with Ilaiyaraaja being present.
Right. Okay. This is with him being present.
He's already recorded the stuff finally before, but now he's coming. This is the first live performance, and I'm hearing it live along with him. And first moment is all just for people who don't understand symphonies. I mean, you think it's very complicated. You got to understand. People always tell you hear a lot of symphonies, read about it, know the composer's background, at what stage of history is he composing, so you'll get a feel of the tune and the melody. All that I read, I had the explanation, basically two tunes being played in various different keys and how they're kind of, how they're this thing. The development is about development of both those kind of stuff. And then the final recapitulations, both those come back into the same key and how they kind of give you the joy. And then the second movement, which is a lyrical movement, and the third is more dancing. The finale is the conclusion of it. This is the structure of a symphony.
Right.
There are 4 parts, 4 movements to a symphony.
So was it like typical, for instance, was that third movement this brisk, like a thing?
The fourth movement is the briskest, is the grandest.
Isn't that supposed to be the kind that...
The finale. The fourth is the finale.
Right.
See, with Rajas, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to get at is, was he very grammatically correct, or did he burst out and do
this was the original classic definition of a symphony.
Right.
Every composer has added their creativity.
Yeah. So I'm curious.
And Ilaiyaraaja, of course, will have the stamp of Ilaiyaraaja. And what is the stamp of Ilaiyaraaja? It's melodic. How can you have a symphony with 1,000 melodies in every development? You're supposed to develop 2 melodies. In developing 2 melodies, you have 20 other melodies. How other 30 develop those 20? Those become... I'm picking out tunes. This 1,000. How many tunes can I get from this entire thing? I'm listening to it. It just after 2 minutes, all my theory went out of the wind. I was just listening to music. And I'm not a great Western classical aficionado, whatever. I'm sitting and I'm just mesmerized by sheer the beauty of the melodies, the journey of the melodies. It's all about the journey of the melodies.
Right.
And holding on to the classic symphonic structure by a man who would never have seen a ballroom dance, who would never have kind of gone to a ballroom dance, never kind of have, been witnessed. I never witnessed all this in his younger days. I keep saying, a man from a village who's gone on to be this composer. We all know what all legendary stuff he has done. To saying, I am I was the disciple, entering an arena as a disciple of Western classical music and coming out as a deity is a miracle. We all go to temples, we pray. But you don't step out as God, no? He does. At the end of it, he steps out as a deity. I'm looking at him. I have never touched many people's feet, except I don't even think I've touched my dad's feet. Okay, neither have I touched. I love Ilaiyaraaja more than anybody else, but for the first time, I don't know why, I just felt like touching his feet, because this was something that I forgot he was a man, and I'm not religious by nature. I am as atheistic as it gets, but I just did this. He said, I just feel like doing this. I don't know. Balki, what are you doing? And said, I just feel like doing something else. And I told him, so say something foolish, say something very arrogant. Normally you say a lot of these arrogant safety. Why are you asking me? So say, sir, something. Say idiot, fool, something, call somebody idiot. So why? So tell me, sir, just reminds me of a human. When you behave like a human being, that's the only chance I get, and so a lot of other fans get, to kind of think, oh, it's a human being creating this. It's not coming from somewhere in the universe. You got that feeling yesterday. And if you don't understand a symphony, you don't understand anything about Western classical music, you don't understand what it is, 45 minutes of a symphony and you're mesmerized. And I'm not exaggerating because I'm an Ilaiyaraaja fan. All of us are Ilaiyaraaja fans. But there were 2,000 people in that auditorium, which is like one of the best auditoriums for symphonies across the world. And they were all Raja sir fans. They've all grown up on his song, Kanne Kalaima. They all wanted him to, they thought that London Harmonic was going to compose and play all those things. He came, Taleva, all people screaming. He said this. Then he said, symphony. Starts 45 minutes. Of course, they don't know where to. Suddenly they clap when the music's going now. Again, they kind of rise up there. At the end of it, you had hardcore fans of his who had his film song buffs.
Right.
Mesmerized by a new music form most of them would never have heard.
Right.
And to be taken in the same way as in the Ilayaraja way to a symphony is a master stamp.
Right.
You won't get that. You don't see that happening in the world where a composer, we all know Ilaiyaraaja, but you leave a stamp on that stuff, on a symphony with your merit. This is Ilaiyaraaja's symphony. It is not Beethoven's symphony, it's not Mozart's symphony, not Tchaikovsky's, right. It's Ilaiyaraaja. You got an as grand, complex, beautiful grandeur with impeccable, beautiful melodies ringing in your ears. For 45 minutes, you've had the treat of your life. I couldn't even speak to him after that. Normally you kind of crack jokes and whatever. I just ran away. I said, thank you, sir. See you. So I went. I needed to kind of just live with the joy that he has given me. It is such joy. And I was like shocked. And I said, we are talking, doing press conferences, doing that stuff, saying things. Everybody's calling him Karavale, this thing, that thing. Just feel it. I mean, how long is it since we felt music? And really had the experience. What was Ilaiyaraaja's biggest thing? It was not hit songs and everything. Hit song was like this thing. We felt his music. There was a period in Tamil Nadu, in South India, most of South India, where people fell in love more than ever before. Or they fell out of love and were very sad, happy feeling sad. That was the joy of Ilaiyaraaja. His music went into their system. He gave them joy. He's not a star. He's not, if Rajni or Kamal or somebody all these stars, Amitji comes over there, you've got stars. These are fans of a man whose music has infested them. We are that kind of, we live in the time, we take him for granted. The times we live in, truly our generation has been affected by the music, and we've lived in that. We all write about it. We have odes to Ilaiyaraaja are numerous. But to come back at 82 and say, here's the new, have you seen this side of me? Like a boy, like a kid, he is the joy. That's why I keep telling him, sir, okay, how is it? He'll say, how? I say, sir, I can't say anything. Then I told him one thing. You know what? I figured you out. What is the thing? You're not a musician. You can't be compared to this fellow, that fellow, who's the greatest composer and all they say in India and all that. So that little mindless conversation that can go on. You're a sportsman. You're the Viv Richards of music. You're the Federer of music. Because you're playing with music. You're playing. You are not, for you, art form it is. You've transcended that. You've mastered the stuff and now you're playing. And you've always played with it. That's why it's coming to you like that. It's a game for you. It's gamesmanship, it's game, it's this thing, with all the scientific principles bang on intact, and not making a big deal out of the theory. He's the last theorist in the world. He'll say, in the Swaram Sarila, this Sarila, all the pitch is not correct, Balki, all that he'll say. But the theory is the least important part. What's the game? What's the new game? Okay, and at 82, when I'm still, which sport gives you the ability to play in peak form at 82, except music? He has.
I would say art, but
art and music. All art, but it's an artist who plays like a game. That's what I'm saying.
That's what.
Any game. He's an artist like that.
That's why I think artists are so lucky, because as long as their imagination is there, or whatever you call it, right, they don't have to worry about their physical, body or whatever it is. It's all.
It's there. He's been like that from day one. Okay, he may walk 2% slower today than he walked 10 years back.
I saw some bootleg stuff. He didn't look, he just looked like he always did. It's like, because I've always seen Ilaiyaraaja, so for me, it's just that I don't see a big difference between what he was on that stage versus maybe 20 years ago.
I worship his arrogance. You know why? I'll tell you why I worship. I like people who, words, if you take a person for his words, you're taking him for the wrong thing. His words, like I told you, his words remind you he's human, that's all. Like he comes and says, no, I am incredible, I am this, I am that. So you're far more than all that, but he's not finding words to all that stuff. It is a person who's fascinated by his own game. It's like Viv Richards looking at his innings. What will he say? I mean, 1,000 people can praise him.
Yeah.
Viv Richards will say, I'm a dude, yeah. I mean, he would say, I'm a dude. So Ilaiyaraja's way of saying his dude is his words. So in a lot of our culture brackets people with the words that they use and how they behave in public and what they do. Ilaiyaraaja is a sportsman who is India's greatest sportsman. Now he's coming and playing with music. You can't forget his what he's given to us. And this symphony, when you hear it, by God, the conductor was telling me that, Michael Toms was telling me, like I've done a lot of philharmonic. You know, what is a small example? He said, I've never seen this color. There's color in a symphony, and there's color. There's technical perfection, and there's color, and there's complexity, and it makes you hum. How can a symphony make you hum?
Lovely.
And yesterday we were discussing the show, which is 2,000 people.
Okay, listen, just to put the thing right, today is Monday. This happened yesterday.
On Saturday, I came.
Saturday, right.
Saturday evening it happened.
Right.
London time. So I took the flight Sunday morning. I came late last night, and I'm meeting you here.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I didn't want to say, people say, no, say something about it. I said, no, I can't say. He's not saying what a symphony, you can't do this kind of thing. For a symphony, you need to kind of first not give away your joy by speaking too much.
Like talking about music is difficult.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And you know, how do you talk about a tune that's infested me? It's like I've got a very healthy virus. It's like that, you know, it's in my system. You can't do that. And nobody will understand it till you hear it. That's why he wants people to hear it.
So you and Ilaiyaraaja are the only two people that have heard it twice. That is at the rehearsal and
no,
at
Sriram, the Sea of Mercury, he was here.
But you were...
There are some people with him. Who their past is recording. Ilaiyaraaja must have heard it 100 times because of the recording and everything else he has done before. He's done the recording of it. It's already recorded to be released later, 1 year down the road.
Right.
But he wants to
Who played on the recording? The
Scottish Philharmonic.
Scottish Philharmonic.
And this is the London Philharmonic, which is playing this.
So to get it right, he wrote it. And the Scottish Philharmonic recorded the whole thing.
What Ilaiyaraaja does, he writes the whole symphony.
Right.
Then he will send the score to the 5-6 top symphonies, and he will choose who he wants to kind of work with.
Right.
And they record it.
Right.
After record it, then he will choose whether to release it or not release it, or do the live performances.
Do you know when this was done?
Still, I think a month ago, a couple of months ago, 1.5 months ago.
1.5 months ago, the final recording.
I think so. I don't know the exact time. Roughly around that time.
The final recording was done to his satisfaction.
Oh, to satisfaction.
Yeah.
So it's recorded and there. And you can see the LP of that, the disc of that.
So the sheets are like frozen in stone?
Frozen in stone.
Right.
He will still make 1 or 2 corrections for live performances.
Right.
Like that.
So this is the first time this recorded music is being played live?
Not recorded. It's the music.
Rather
from the sheets are being played live.
Yeah.
First time, here he is listening to it also fully live in an auditorium with 2,000 people.
Yeah, as opposed to like a CD or something.
As opposed to a LP or whatever.
Yeah.
What he said, that's what his thing is. He says, this is the greatest moment of my life. He said that. And it's also the greatest moment of your life. Because along with me, you're listening to the symphony the first time in the world. Good luck. And he went off. That's all he said. Okay. And he was a rock star. I mean, he was like a little boy in his suit over which he wore a cardigan because he can't take the cold. And he's sitting in the sofa. No composer normally sits in the stage. They sit along with the audience and see the conductor performing this. So he's sitting on the stage. They gave him a sofa to sit.
He was sitting
on the stage.
Beside the conductor?
Yeah, beside the conductor.
Okay.
The conductor would look at him and both of them would exchange this thing. The rapport between the conductor and him. They're the best orchestra. I mean, you can't get a better orchestra, 85-piece orchestra with all those cellos and the violas and the violins and the trumpets and the trombones bleeding. I mean, what? The beautiful lyrical tunes of Ilaiyaraaja, the grandeur of Ilaiyaraaja, and for the satisfaction of the fans, in the last half an hour, after the symphony got over, he took a break and he said, let the London Philharmonic will perform couple of 3 or 4 of my compositions, and they did that with just the instrumental version of those things, and he sang one half a song in that thing quite beautifully.
So these are his film songs.
Yeah, 3/4 of the second half of the program.
Right.
Because symphony is only 45 minutes, but the audiences come there. And just look at the following. Look at this rock star and the power of Ilaiyaraaja. The normal rates when the London Philharmonic plays, they play very often and they have a crowd, elite audiences there. The biggest ticket is £90.
£90.
The lowest ticket is £25.
Right.
Okay. And they get a fair share, 800, 900 people. The biggest ticket here is some £400. The lowest ticket is £175.
Wow.
2,000 people are packed in the auditorium. Nobody can understand this phenomenon. And we've not and it's not been marketed like on the Times and everything else as the biggest kind of thing.
Right.
No, people have come. It has been One Nation or something. I think Live Nation has marketed this, but whoever knows. He wants people, city by city. He's going from London. After a month, he'll go to Paris. Then he'll go to Hamburg, Berlin. Then he'll go to Hamburg in Germany, Berlin afterwards. Then he's going to Dubai. Then he's going to a couple of places. Final finale will be in Chennai, or whatever the location he chooses in Tamil Nadu. He wants the world to hear it live first before hearing it on any of those online streaming platforms.
And then he'll release it.
That's why I didn't even take out my phone to record it. Just took a picture of him, and that's it. No recording. People, you will never find the symphony record. They'll have bits of it which he played as a finale again, as a recap, just a closure again. One of the pieces of symphony. Not recorded. The fans are so loyal. The fans are so disciplined. They're not fans. They've been affected by his music. So they're not like normal fans who come to see a celebrity. This is an experience like, as an Indian, we get to see so few of these kind of things which are out of our world. And to make this part of our world, what can be more incredible than this? He is truly an incredible Indian.
So, Balki, one thing I want to ask you is, I completely understand how amazing this must have been, right? It's like you said magic, you felt magic, right? But, as a listener, see, the first time you listen to a piece of Western classical music or Indian classical music or whatever classical music, you kind of register certain mileposts, let's say, depending on your mind, you say, okay, this is a high note, this is something, and you make a rough map, right? Because especially if it's a long and complicated thing, because your mind is wholly not going to go into it all the time, right? There are going to be parts where you snap out or something like that. So did the second listening make you appreciate it better? Because now you knew the...
No, I'm talking of the first listening.
Okay.
I'm still... My second listening... The first listening was in pieces.
Right.
But I carried the experience of my first listening to the second listening.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it actually... I was almost like... I was bamboozled in the first 20 seconds of my first listening.
Right, I agree.
The second listening did, of course, only added things to it, but it was not because of that.
Yeah.
In fact, in a symphony, like you said, the complication, the part of it, 10 seconds into the symphony, you can't take your ears off it because it's catchy. It's Ilaiyaraaja. He will never let it go with something that you can't catch.
Right.
He catches you in the first 10 seconds with a melody that is playing in all keys, comes back, and how it kind of weaves in, kind of come back to the sound. You will be singing that first movement. If you only listen to the first movement, one day you will be singing only the first movement.
You'll be singing it like a song.
Like a song.
Just tell me again, I just want to hear this because it sounded so lovely. What did Michael Toms tell you? It has color?
See, he said it's so colorful, it's rich, and it's so perfect.
Colorful, yeah. Okay.
They've all heard a lot of symphony. I don't think anybody could have heard more symphonies than the London Philharmonic is playing. And for them to see a new angle in the symphonic rendition of a composition.
Yeah.
Oh man, And we don't even have to know anything about all that. It's just music.
Yeah.
It's simple music. Sit there, in 10 seconds you're hooked. Because the melody is hooking you.
Yeah.
Forget the science, forget the logic, forget the symphonic movements, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
One movement ends, begins again the second movement with a new melody and something else happening. Begins again the third movement with a new melody, something begins again the fourth, the finale with one. You want to thump, you want to kind of do. I mean, you're on a ride, but there's no visual.
Yeah.
So I asked Raja sir, so what was the idea behind? He's saying, what are the question you're asking? What is the stupid question you're asking me? I said, no, everybody has a painter, there's a feel, no? What's going on here? Like Picasso would say, something. He's saying and all is afterwards. You will say whatever you want to say, we can call it whatever and give justification. This is a musical journey. So far, somebody is saying this is the idea for this kind of thing. I have to find a musical, extrapolation of that one and elevate whatever has to be done.
Right.
Here, nobody is telling me anything. Music only is telling me music is the idea. Music takes me wherever the music is going, I am going. That is symphony.
Lovely.
And he's telling me like, no, I'm doing, no, tell me some thought will be there. No, what is this? What is this?
You
Yeah,
asking
I'm asking him. I keep asking him like a kid, and saying, no, tell me, that kind of thing. And he keeps, teaching. First thing you remove this word idea. Idea is, when we sit studio, there is no idea. Idea is music. How music travels is what? It is the journey of how it is traveling in my head. How it is. This is as pure as it comes. There is no purpose. I'm not solving a problem except a musical journey. The musical wants to go left or right. I'll say whether right is block or left is block, but it will go in the correct direction. Those problems, that is not an idea. It is an idea of music. How can music travel? How can this kind of a tune travel? How can that kind of a tune travel? That is what it is.
It sounds almost like nature.
It is nature.
Yeah.
You listen to it. You may not find a word to it, Valiant or whatever. I don't know what the word it is. He's called it Valiant. And it can be Valiant if you see it from one way.
But did you ask him why it was called Valiant?
I never ask him those kind of questions because
But you have asked him questions.
No, but if I ask him, again he'll say, you're finding meaning. Don't find meaning in feeling. He'll always say, don't find meaning in feeling. It's a beautiful line, which is what I tell a lot of people. Why are you trying to find meaning in feeling? I am doing a close-up of somebody. There's feeling. Why are you doing meaning in there? Why should it be? Why you're writing? I am feeling. It's feeling. This is music. Everything is like that. That's why, you ask a musician to talk, they're forced to adopt today's language to explain something that is not explainable. It's a feel thing. Even he will not be able to tell you what he felt.
No, I'll differ with that, Balki. See, I completely agree with, because you've had the conversations with Ilaiyaraaja. But there are symphonies that have been taken from stories like parts of or which have been taken from poems and
there are operas and symphonies.
No, symphonies all too have been taken from.
There's a purpose to it.
There's a purpose.
There's a story.
So this is the interpretation of the composer of that particular folk tale or story.
Absolutely.
Or whatever it is.
This is not that.
Yeah. So
there are many symphonies. Yeah. The way Beethoven and Mozart all composed, there was no story that time.
Yeah.
It was again this. It was the purity of music journey. They had no stories to tell.
Yeah.
Okay, later on the stories came. Actually, with the evolution of opera, a lot of stories kind of came. And again, just with symphonies, the kind of stories kind of happened, where it became a medium to express something. Yeah. A lot of Russian composers told about their country because of, through music, about the state of their country, and whoever could get it. But there's no agenda to this kind of a music, And I love that feeling. There is no agenda to this. And how many times do we get an opportunity to have no agenda in a business of entertainment? I mean, it's like, there's no agenda. I'm just enjoying feeling.
Yeah, it's like coursing through me, and I'm shaping it and giving it to you.
I'm just giving it to me.
Yeah.
He's not even claiming credit for the music. Somewhere it's coming to me. I am delivering the music. He's never saying that. And when you sit with him, you will really feel actually he's a person who just believes he's a vehicle of music. He really believes he's a vehicle. And but you ask him to say some things about it, then the words get very complex, in the whole thing. But this kind of purity to have at 82 is just joy for what you're doing.
I'm so glad that that you brought up the fact that, you know, just say some arrogant thing because I want to say, see, you're human. You told me that, right? It's like because you wanted to feel, oh, you're not some outer space thing. You're like really
No,
human.
I think எதுக்கு சார் இதெல்லாம் பண்ணி ஜஸ்ட் இல்லை சார் நீங்கள் சொல்லினே இதே மாதிரி சொல்லுங்க நீங்கள் எல்லாரையும் திட்டுங்க என்ன வேணாலும் சொல்லுங்க இஸ் த ஒன்லி சான்ஸ் பீப்புள் கெட் டு சே இந்த அந்த ஆளு சொல்றதுக்கு வந்து that's the only chance. Music does not give you that. Your music.
No, but I'm saying that this has always puzzled me, that I don't know if it's an Indian thing or if it's a world thing, that humility is associated with greatness. That somehow a humble, like I've heard things like, oh, Federer's so great, he's so humble. I asked him for a photograph and he posed with me. I'm like, I don't understand how people associate, because if somebody has got all the bad qualities in them, like I'm not talking about Ilaiyaraaja, but I'm just like let's say like Ivan the Terrible or somebody that, right? Like, you know, but if Wagner was Nazi, you know, but he made phenomenal music. So what are you going to you know say about that? The fact that the art comes from some place, right? It's like I don't know why people are hung up on humanizing qualities that
because people want a way into the person's soul, into the person's heart. You want to be a part of that person, so you expect words to be a part
but
of
the music is allowing you to be a part of the person.
See, sometimes when a person writes you a note, you know, you're not cherishing the note as much as the feeling behind that note, what all that person has done for you. But those words matter because that's what the word remains with you.
Yeah,
And the feelings you can't keep expressing in the word.
Yeah.
With Raja sir, I think I always say that whenever you make him talk, you know, sometimes when you really want to write and somebody disturbs you, and you want to say fuck off, and then sorry, but you can't, and you say those polite, but you got the expression of deep agony. So Raja sir is the expression of deep agony whenever he's not doing music. All other things that he has to do for practical life, like he has to deal with this person, that person, he has to speak to this person, he has to give that interview, he has to deal with that manager, this film, that contract, this thing, all that he has to deal with. They're all the unnecessary.
Please tell him that I've been running after an interview for a decade.
We call it necessary evils. He calls it unnecessary evils.
Yeah.
Why are these evils? I don't want to do anything. Just give me this thing and I'll do. And most of his life he's right on his terms.
But you know what I really remember was in Goa when you took me to meet him. And I think that must have been my second or third. I never talked to him before. That was the first time. And for some reason, because probably I'm a film critic or something, he started talking about his favorite film. Do you remember which film it was? Amadeus.
Of course he said that. He wanted to do that clip. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Amadeus
so he wanted to, like he said, that's the most perfect movie that he's ever seen. I was just frozen there because to see Ilaiyaraaja, a man I'm associating with music, talk about these nuances of a film. Of course, I'm separating boxes that should not be there, but you know, I'm expecting him to talk about Mozart and this and that and all that, but he's talking about
his cinematic sense is something.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there shocked.
You know, I told him this
because I not shocked as in I don't want it to say that he doesn't. Obviously, you have to know films to score for them, right? You have to know the emotional beats and all that.
Yeah, I mean,
but the way he was, like, he went philosophically into that film was just so touching for me, because that was not the conversation I expected to have. And I have to thank you for that.
No. I mean, I have to thank him for giving me life. You know, it was so funny. I was just talking to him about this in the symphony during.
But just to interrupt, I also noticed his unease. He knew you, so I think he kind of allowed me to, enter that space. But I could make out that there was it didn't come easily.
He's uneasy with most human beings.
Yeah.
Because human being is not a music instrument.
Yeah.
You know, it is like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm almost like what do you say, a fly on the wall. I'm just there hanging around because I'm only listening to his music. I'm not interested.
Right. But I think over time you've also developed into some kind of a...
No, I love him
Yeah.
from the bottom of my heart because that is true, because there's nothing to be expected.
Right. And you have a rapport with him.
Not rapport. You know, this is the thing that I keep telling a lot of people. Sometimes, like when I was supposed to do his film, like I gave him this, I suddenly called him up one day and I said, Naidu, my producer, was sitting here, and we were talking something about Raja sir would do it like this. I said, Naidu, why hasn't anybody done a film on Ilaiyaraaja? Imagine the songs out there.
It's done a film on
Ilaiyaraaja.
There's one being made.
No. I started this conversation with him. Said, done. Okay, we'll do. Okay. So let me call Raja sir. So I called Raja sir. Sir, let's do a film on you. So Balki, you won't believe, just 5 minutes back I was thinking of calling you and saying that let's do a film. Okay, done, sir. So I know correct person will be like you, will be Dhanush. Let me go talk to Dhanush. I spoke to Dhanush. I was like, Enna, sir, Raja sir, I'm his biggest fan, whatever this thing. I said, done. Sir, pardon, ready, sir. Let's write the script. Let me write the script.
So this is supposed to be you directing Dhanush?
I was the first. I got Dhanush in. And listen to the story.
Okay.
But the rapport is also a big issue when you turn it into practicality. And I'll tell you why. Because to me, I don't know anything about Raja sir, and I don't want to know anything about Raja sir. He doesn't know anything about himself, except his music. That's Raja sir for me.
Right.
So I am this bravado and I said this and all stuff. So for 2 months during COVID and all happened, some 3-4 months, I was speaking to various people who knew. I mean, they worked longer, money, and PC of course knows him a lot. A couple of other people, whatever. Karthik told me a lot. Struggle. I said, Raja, it'll take me some time to write. 1 year happened. 1.5 years happened. 2 years happened. And Naidu also passed away. Then I couldn't do anything. I said, when Sriram, I spoke to his. I said, Sriram, I don't think I can do this. You know why? We can do a story on all his songs. It'll be a smash hit.
Just to clarify, Sriram is his manager.
Sriram is not exactly the CEO of his company.
Right. Just to, yeah.
Sriram is a very big man, but Sriram is the reason why the symphony happened. Raja sir gives him all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
So I was talking, it can't happen. So why, sir? What are you saying? Raja sir is so expensive. See, the problem is, I don't have a story. As a filmmaker, if I associate myself from the love for us, I don't have a story. Because he's divinity. He's coming, music is coming. I can't almost use his item numbers, they say, use his songs as the item numbers in his film and make a film a hit. I don't know how to do that film.
But that film will become a hit.
It's not becoming hit, many things you can do.
Yeah.
But doing the film that you want to do with the feeling that you have for his music, you may not be able to do. Right. I'm not the right guy. Sometimes the overlove for a person's music also stops because the purity you recognize, that's it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to make him a story. I don't want to make him a human. I don't want to make a lot of things. Oh, conflict, some family, this thing, that thing. Those are a small little story. His main thing is this thing, okay, some arrogance here, there, all that kind of thing. And can make a little bit of a pot boiler masala. So nice. I can't do it.
You couldn't find a through line.
No. It was not even through line. It was not even a story. This is what I want to tell you. When you love a person, for the core is his music. When you go to his life, everything seems very devoid of the thing to match his music.
Yeah.
The purity of his music, life becomes human. Like I tell him, do interviews, sir, remind you of a human. As a fan of his music, I just felt that, I'm humanizing him. His music's coming to him, it's divine. I can't do a film on divinity. I'm an atheist, I can't do a film on divinity. So how do I do this entire thing? So I was asking Mani also, I was saying, what do I do? So, what will you do in this theme, this thing he was telling me? I don't know, Mani, I was just trying to think what the hell. I stopped. I couldn't do it. He said, sir. So after that, he was a little upset, I think, of this entire thing. They moved on. They did Dhanush only got some. I don't know what is happening right now. I'm meeting him. I met him a couple of times after that. I've spent the time with him on this thing. And to me, I realized I was bang on right. He is pure. This, when I heard this symphony, bloody hell, let anything capture this. The day I can do a film to match the purity of his music, that's the time, like Amadeus. Okay, I said, it's a story. There's a story. That is different. You are Mozart, you are everything, you are this thing, everything is inside you. What I'll do? What you put press harmonium? I'll say cut to press harmonium. Somebody will say press harmonium. What will I do? So he laughed at me. He said, "Tell the world. They tell the world, and they tell what you do. Why you just keeping quiet?" I said, "No, everybody knows I'm not doing it because I can't do film on divinity. That is my problem in life." So he was laughing. And when you when you're in touch rapport with an artist, all artists,
Right.
you don't rapport as a person. You rapport when you're deeply aware. You may not respond in the exact way, but you're deeply aware of what this molecule, what set of molecules is, deeply aware. And if you compare that molecule to something else, the rapport will go in you only, not in that person. It's very precious to me. My company, my moments with him, I keep telling Gauri, it's almost like I got a blood transfusion. When I meet him, I get a blood transfusion. He's the core of my energy. So when you have that kind of a thing, you treat it with such... It's not you have to be respectful and careful in what you say. I say whatever I want to say to him. But the thing is, I say it with not respect, with mesmerized by the music, my words are coming out. I'm not saying, "Oh, sir, you're God." I'm speaking like a person who's filled with the joy given to me by his music. So that joy will always give you the rapport. With anybody, with any fan.
What you're saying reminds me of some of the people who wrote Bhakti poetry, because their love for the God was so immense that they took liberties with them, speaking to the God in language and in ways that regular people would not. They would talk to them as a friend, they would talk to them as a lover, they would talk to them as a but not in a, like that, but your God. But take, liberties with that person. It sounds to me like that.
Yeah, but I haven't found a way or a medium to kind of take that liberty with Ilaiyaraaja to tell the world that this is what I feel. I don't have a medium for that stuff, except my face, except my emotions, except my thing. I don't think cinema for me is the medium right now to do this.
No, let me tell the story to the people watching this. So you say that, you're back, and I'm telling you, let's do this interview, and we go back and forth and find a time that we're doing this right now. Like, before you have your enormous day tomorrow, and then the day after tomorrow you're flying off to Tashkent. So this is the only window we have, and we're doing this because we love the guy. So this is
I really wish the whole of the industry could have been there to bring this industry back to its purity. The joy that we all had when that song was first composed, that thing was happened. Not, Netflix ka itna deal, Amazon ka itna deal, okay, we recovered this did so many
almost
crores.
like an Adam and Eve kind of thing.
Yeah,
Right,
this pure, we have very few opportunities today to feel human in our industry. In 3 years only we have before machines take over us. But anyway, within the 3 years, that's just that thing. These are joys that, I just like Ilaiyaraaja. He makes me feel human. He makes me feel human. And he feels human by talking sometimes.
No, so I've always wondered about this. You're an atheist. He's a devotee. Have you ever had conversations about that?
I respect it deeply.
No, as in, have you talked to him
Of course I've talked to him.
Yeah.
It was deep spiritual experiences what he had. And I am bamboozled because it's possibly the only time I've believed in a force beyond me, because I believe in the force that gives him the music. Because once
What does he say?
He says, he's given to me through Annamalai. He goes, he's Bhagwan, he goes there. He has this thing, he tells me about Mukambika, he tells me all. I pretend to understand, I pretend to kind of say, pretend to be respectful. None of my arrogance as an atheist ever comes into this entire thing, because I am a believer when I'm with him.
Right.
I believe in him. I am not believing in anything of the other power, because it's come to him. I believe in him because you're in front of me. You've given me so much joy. Who can be the best friend in the world for you? The person who gives you maximum joy is the person you want to be with him. I want to be with him composing, the couple of films that I didn't do. I feel, I missed out something. I wanted to just be with him. The joy of, I realize how much I've missed that when he sees the first reel and says, Balki, we'll meet at 3 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock, the magic of that reel unfolds. This is the magic we live for in cinema. We keep talking and talking of the theories of creating magic. The people who work with Ilaiyaraaja know the magic happens, He is not another composer. You're playing with it. You don't say music. Next time I'm going to say sportsman. Music, whatever you call it. What music player, whatever. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah,
Athlete.
yeah.
டார்லிங் ஏசி திருவிழா இந்தியாவிலேயே மிக குறைந்த மாத தவணையில் ஏசி.
South India's #1 travel brand. You know you are special when you're with GT Holidays.
Velamal feels proud to honor the physical education teachers with 5 cars and 15 lakhs.